Hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. I also live stream all of my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you'd like to have an awesome new PC built live, send me a message today. Alrighty, so today I've had a PC dropped in by a customer who bought it from one of my friends interstate who also does and runs a similar business to what I do here. And he reached out to me because he got the computer and now he's having problems getting it working. He doesn't really know exactly what's wrong with it. He's described some symptoms to me. My friends tried to sort of troubleshoot him remotely, but it was getting too much, so he's brought it down to me, and we're going to go and troubleshoot this computer here today, and we're going to work out what the problem is. So to get started, I don't know much about the specs of this PC, other than it's in a Lian Li Dynamic 11 case, I think it's called, or 011 case. We've got a Ryzen chip in here. Other than that, I can't really see. We've got a Galax graphics card. Looks like it could be a 3070 or 3080 maybe. Yeah, that's about it. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to do before I even plug in any cables, first thing I want to actually try is just plugging in a power cable and turning it on and seeing what happens without anything else plugged into it. I want to take every other variable out of the equation. That can stay here because we're not going to be running the computer for any significant amount of time here. Power on, and I see some sparking from the hard drive, sorry, the power supply there. And PC is on, going through normal boot sequence, and we have what looks like a VGA error. Alright, no worries. So what we can do now, we can hook up some components to the back. If you're wondering how I know it's a VGA error, I'm looking at the post-error lights on the motherboard. The little tiny LEDs that show up if you're doing something wrong. So obviously this isn't my PC, it's not one of my builds. I'm working on someone else's stuff here, so I'll be putting on my anti-static strap before I open up this case. So it is important to be grounded while you're doing this kind of thing. It's alright if you're just working on your own PC at home, that's 100% at your risk, but when you work on other people's stuff... Oh, I'm on the wrong bolt there. Yeah, it's good to take that out of the equation as much as possible. Alright.
Day off work, mate.
This is my only work now.
Yes, Tim has resigned.
I officially resigned my position as a sales manager for an FMCG company, so I am now 100% dedicated to the cause here at Tim's PC. So thanks everyone for your support, because I wouldn't have been able to do it without my customers here. So I just want to shout out to everyone and say thanks. Alright, so VGA error here. Just going to have a quick look around the board here in a bit more detail. Everything's looking cool. B550 motherboard.
This is well done, bro. Very swell.
Thanks, mate. Really appreciate it. Alright, so because we had a VGA error, sometimes when a computer gets shipped, the vibrations in shipping can actually cause a bit of a problem there with the pins where it's interfaced. And so sometimes these VGA errors that come up, sometimes these can be as simple as removing the graphics card and plugging it back in. Alright.
Tim, Sam says, hell yeah, good stuff, mate. Good luck for the future. Rob says, that's awesome. I wish I had the money to support your new venture.
Oh, thank you.
And Stephen says, fingers crossed for you, Tim.
Thanks, mate. Really appreciate it, guys. So this looks like a 3070. Yep. No worries.
Oh, Rob says, but I'm here at work 6 hours into my 12-hour shift.
Okay. So just reseated that graphics card there. And I'm just gonna, I'll just leave it sitting there. It's just resting on one of the bolts there, so it's relatively stable. But before we go any further, we got our power supply turned on. Let's see if we get a post. Watch these errors as we cycle through. Straight back to VGA error. That is VGA, isn't it? Are we getting a signal? Oh, wait.
Have you not even got the monitor plugged in?
It wasn't plugged in.
No. Try that again. Steven says, it's awesome you live stream this. I have a few friends coming in to see my PC up and running.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so basically that's what I do here.
Starting to boost now.
Yep, we seeing something?
Yep.
There we go. Beautiful. So we just had, I've got to turn this off because I don't actually have, I'm just going to hard reset it, because I don't actually have a cooler on the CPU. So that CPU is very, very warm right now. Like it would probably be at its T-junction. Because you can, and just for the note, for reference, it's okay to turn on a computer without the cooler on the CPU for a short amount of time, like what we've done here, just to like go through the diagnostic process and diagnosis process, I should say, and that was all we're going to have to do. So what we're going to do now is we're going to reapply this thermal compound to both the cooler and the CPU, and we're going to remount this cooler, and then we're going to get into Windows, and we're just going to go just make sure everything's all good and working fine for the customer. We're going to go screw these graphics card bolts back in and get that secured again. But as I suspected, this is just a simple case of shipping, and things can get moved around in shipping and you can get these kind of issues. One of my customers just this week had the same thing. I shipped him a PC with a 3080, so it's quite a high-end PC. And as soon as it had I added the extra point of failure by adding a riser cable and doing a side mount for him on that, and we had a bad mount on the riser cable, so he had to like take his graphics card out and remove the riser and play around with all that. And yeah, so like this kind of stuff does happen. It's really common. It's the same thing that can happen with RAM, so you could have an issue with the system memory there as well. That's also very common. So nothing bad, nothing broken. Yeah, like the shop that you bought this from didn't do anything wrong with this PC. They've done everything really good and really by the book. It's a nice, neat, clean build. It's just unfortunate that you had to go through this, and that's. Yeah, this isn't something that happens with like every PC that gets shipped off. It's actually pretty rare. It's rare, but it's still like it's sort of common enough, if you know what I mean. When you do this every day and you deal with people every day, babe, can I get some of those tissues? And I got my isopropyl here.
Yeah, sure can.
Yeah, so this was a little bit of an emergency job. So my friend called me up and was like, I've got this customer having problems with his PC, and I tried to walk him through it over the phone, and he couldn't work it out. So needed to bring it to someone like me to actually have a look at in person.
Jamie says plugging it in helps. But great, that's awesome. It's so good to hear. To see it load up.
Yeah, so it's all good. It was just that simple case. I actually said this to Isaac on the phone. I said, mate, it's probably just something simple like a bad mount on the graphics card or something like that. It's just vibrations in shipping sort of thing. Because yeah, I know Isaac's got a good reputation, runs a good business down there. So
Jamie says the good old rare common. You're a crack up, my dude.
What's that?
The good old rare common. You're a crack up, my dude. Says Jamie.
Yeah, no. So maybe I should sort of clarify my choice of words there. Things can be sort of uncommon, right? Like statistically speaking, but if you I don't know, certain failure on a car might be relatively uncommon, but if you run a fleet of cabs and you've got thousands of cars, it's not like that uncommon thing never happens. It happens relatively frequently, but statistically, when you do the math, it's it's something that's pretty rare. But economies of scale, then it scales up, and then it becomes, even though it's statistically kind of rare, it's statistically significant the amount of events that will occur when you have a big enough scale. So that's what I mean by rare common. I'm just sort of talking here live, just as it runs through my head, which sometimes I might have to clarify little things like that, because you know how our brains are all a little bit different and how we sort of think and do all that sort of stuff on an internal level. Alrighty.
It says, message me after you finish, please, mate. I've got a few questions and I'm posting my old computer up to you today.
No worries. Alrighty, so we just chucked a bit of Arctic Silver thermal compound down here. We do have a 3700X here, so it's quite a warm CPU. Actually, we'll mount that this way. These Wraith stealth coolers here, like one of the AMD stock coolers, they're a bit lopsided with the AMD logo there, and it can get in the way of the RAM, so you've really got to always mount them the same way. So I just smoothed that thermal compound out a bit there, but I'm going to have to remove the back of the case here as well, because I need to get my hand in. Yes. Do you reckon you could maybe assist by holding that? Come around here where my hand is. Can you hold that back plate on the back of the CPU?
I can't see because your hand's in the way. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Alright, let's do this like a pro. I'm not doing this the easy way by putting the case down, I'm doing it so you guys can see. Ideally get our two in the corner done, opposite corners. Oh, that first one wasn't exactly in. Nah, this isn't working. I'm doing it the easy way. Fuck the pro way. I need your hand. Sorry. You fit your hand in from the top.
What? I don't know where I'm trying to... Oh. I couldn't see. Oh, that's heavy.
She gets angry really quickly.
No, I don't.
Yeah, she does. Gotta be careful.
Smack him.
Yeah, she will. She fucking
Ow.
will.
It's heavy. It's hurting my hand. It's not even going in.
No, no. Hang on. No, you don't have to hold it anymore.
I've got an indentation on my hand now.
This is why we normally screw these down when the motherboard's out of the case, because it's really kind of annoying to. That's better. Oh, that's why. Nah, we're gonna.
What?
Nah, I'm not even bothering with this, because the customer left it loose in the case and it was bouncing around. It's slightly bent. One of the
Oh,
screw
have you got a spare
things.
one?
Do I have a spare one? Oh, I've got a spare one. Oh yeah, you better believe I got a spare one. Let's just clean off that old compound.
Yeah, the side arc's been pushed to the side a little bit, hasn't it? Can't see his face.
Okay. Alright, take two.
Oh, so strong.
What's that?
Oh, I just got a big whiff of that alcohol stuff. I was like, ooh.
Okay, see, look how quick that was. See, I'm not incompetent. I know what I'm doing. Perfect. Very nice. That's all looking sexy. Alright, let's turn it back on.
Plugged in.
Yep. But I have video cable plugged in. Yep. See, it doesn't look like, oh, what have we got here? Just a bit of a startup error. Why did my PC restart?
Screen.
No, I don't want to finish setting up this device. Alright, well, I guess we'll set up Windows, but I mean, geez, that's the full install from this point. I don't think Isaac wants to pay me to do this. So, it's not my customer. We'll turn it off because the system is fine. I'm booting into Windows. So, happy days. That cooler's definitely tied down nicely. But I will say that you should have gone with the extra cooler with a 3700.
Windows was installed.
Windows is installed, but it hasn't been set up. According to that, it's saying it's getting you to sign in and all that. Not sure if Isaac's got the other stuff installed in Windows, but yeah. Anyway, we'll pack this up because it's working, man. It's completely functional. It's all ready for you to use. That flash at the power supply, that's just an operational characteristic of the power supply. So don't worry too much about that. But yeah, other than that, it's a good rig, man. The only thing, like I said, the only thing you should have done is you should have put a bigger cooler on your CPU. Would have cost you a bit extra, but Ryzen 3700X really loves a bit of extra cooling on it. It's alright in gaming, but especially if you wanted to do any video rendering, that's an upgrade that you might consider. But other than that, you got all the other parts in the box there. So there's Wi-Fi and aerial and all that kind of stuff that was in your motherboard box. But yeah, this is good to go, man. No big deal. It was just, like I said, it was just the bad mount on the graphics card from shipping. A little bit of vibration there, just loosened that. It's basically, if you ever played like old cartridge games like Nintendo 64 and stuff like that, you'd probably remember having situations where you turned on the PC and you'd have situations where you would have turned on the PC and sorry, the console rather, and the game wouldn't have loaded. You would have just like turned it on. It was like a black screen, right? So with that, it's basically the same thing that happens to a graphics card or RAM in shipping. It's just the connections weren't properly aligned. They were aligned when the computer was set up, but yeah, they weren't aligned. They weren't aligned after a bit of vibration from shipping. Stephen wants to know how much for the extra cooler. It depends what cooler. I don't have one on me. I got a Wraith Prism cooler. You could put that on, but I think you should save your money and get something a bit better than that even. No, I don't have any AIOs on me or anything like that, so I can't do anything with it today. But yeah, sure. If you're down this way again, be happy to put one in for you. That's no dramas. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna leave this one here because we're pretty much done. Just waiting for the customer to come pick up his PC again. So I've got some more stuff planned for this afternoon and tonight. And yeah, more builds and stuff coming up soon. So yeah, watch this space. And like I said, I'm doing this full time now. So yeah, you're gonna see a lot more content from me, both on YouTube and on Facebook, and other media as well. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of work, but I've now just gained like 40 hours back into my week. So I think I can do something with 40 hours a week. I think that's a that will make things work a little bit better around here. Anyway, have a good one, and I'll see you all later in the next video.